Hey lovelies, I hope you have a good weekend, and I want to share this to all my lovelies out there, or my collectives, who are watching my page, and all my stalkers. And I want to show you guys something. Now, you can do this on your own as well, but there's certain, I used to do programming, like I said, and I learned it in high school and a little bit of college, whatever. And I've used it to my advantage. I'm more of an old school person, but I wanted to share this. So where I was living at 5520 Harrison Street in NorthHighlands, and like I said before, all the lines, the phone lines, everything was connected to one hub, the property management, and as far as the other state or sister communities, properties, and so on and so forth. So what I wanted to share, this is something that I have. I was looking through my things from uh, June 6, 2021, right? And this is what I did on network diagnostic. This is what I mean when I do a run test on my computers. And, I am tech savvy, but I'm not a professional at it. And I just use the tools that I have, with me. So, anyway, so I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably a little bit blurry. So, as you can see, this was my old cell phone or domain server IP address. And let me go over this with you. Okay, so the lease file date is 149. Let's give you an example, 70098. Now, if you can do it online too, but this numbers will tell you the date and time of this particular domain was used on this particular computer. And then you have, of course, the client MAC address, which is the address of the computer or whatever device you're using. And then your lease address, which is the IP address of the device. And then the message type ACK. And then the lease time, it will tell you the time. And then seconds. And this will give you also the date as well from this date, June 6, 2021. So I wanted to share this with you and show you. Okay, I did my network diagnostic analysis. So this is my cell phone. I don't have the IP address anymore, so that's gone. So, and these cell site simulators, that's how they get into your shit. And this is my AT&T router. Of course, the net mask, you have it there. Go on, right? And at this point right here, they were using a unicast, which was a kind of server, some sort of IoT, Internet of Things, which they were transferring my data to another computer, right? Or to, what's it called, shareware, or like Amazon cloud servers. There's a lot of servers I use on my computer because I have copies of that as well. So let's go down here. Let's see. That's AT&T. Because you see here, everything's all right. It'll tell you the file, the lease age, which is the date and time, the MAC address, which tells you what computer it was, the IP address, the lease address, which was my AT&T modem or router, and then it'll have lease time, which is, it will have the time in seconds, because if you convert this, it will tell you the exact time, and it'll tell you the exact date. The server, of course, this was my AT&T router. And you see here, domain name AT&T local network. Let's see, renew time. So this is all the time, the dates, and when this was done, right? And the rebinding time, it has all that there. If you know about computer information science, whatever. So going to the next page. Nothing too long. So what caught my attention was when I was going through here, this IP address right here, 192.168.1.10, it was a Netgear router, which I don't have. And it showed me the name of the router and how many gigabytes per second that the router had. And it had to be one of the tenants because he's the ex-husband to the manager of the property. And it showed me about the the open pockets, or the wireless pocket, whatever, in the router. So go on based on that. So I went down here and I was looking at going through the DHCP lease file and dates and times, so on and so forth. And this particular router, which I didn't have, it showed that the server was 10.001, right? And the domain name was Utopia Net, right? So at one point when I was doing analysis, in 2021. This is when well, it was an insurance claim, in regards to my apartment, and also some other stuff too as well. This Utopia Net is Utah, right? And this is where Wasatch Property Management uses this type of service. Wasatch Property Management still has a financial interest in the properties in NorthHighlands, which is under new management or holdings, whatever you want to call it, Reliant Property. So utopia.net, you won't find it under that, but utopia.net is the Utah internet service, right? So when I was doing my analysis, I saw them on my computer, they immediately got off, right? This is how they monitor their tenants, all of them, all through Sacramento, all through the East Coast, Florida, Georgia, you name it. I already know what's going on. So with this one, that's how they say, oh, the confidential informant, if they want to evict you out, if they feel that you're doing something or whatever you're doing, they try to blackmail their tenants. And they don't tell the tenants, they'll go to their buddy friend in the courts and say, hey, look at this, we got this, we want him or her out, blah, 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 or they're doing this against you guys, whatever the case may be. This is how they know. Because I went to a tenant workshop. They didn't say it directly, but when they told me, well, not told me directly, but it was a workshop, and when they said, yeah, I know that community very well. Yeah, they know a whole lot. They, so that kind of started me to digging, and this is what I found. I had to put my own skills to test. So if you look at here, this lease address 10.229.228.22 is a private network, which was a VPN, right, or possibly a proxy. And the MAC address or net mask, and then it says at least 300 seconds. This tells you the time and the date, right? And then the domain name server was 75.75.75, whatever, which was on my computer, and I was using my router. So this domain server name was Comcast. Now, I didn't have Comcast. I had AT&T. So at times, I have some documents and some print screens, or screenshots rather, that it would say network change, always. Network change. Even when I was homeschooling my son, network. I'm like, what the hell? And the AT&T pretended as if they didn't know what's going on. I'm telling you what they were doing in that community. Now, let's go on. I did another diagnostic. Okay, let's see here. I want to show you something. So this is another day. I don't know if you can see that. Same thing. It was a Comcast. This is when they changed my network over. I had AT&T. I was doing something, and it would say network change, and it would boot me out of my system, out of my computer. And they were always doing it on purpose. And then, of course, those were AT&T. And then you see here, utopia.net. That was in Utah. See, they were hacking my stuff from way at Wasatch Property Management in Utah. So that's how I know what's been going on my system and what they've been trying to gather. That's why at times when I do stuff on the internet, I do it on purpose. I already know who it is. And at one point, one attorney had blocked me out of my Google account, and it said that my account was deleted or some sort. I contact Google, and they telling me that they don't delete accounts, right? So I said, okay. But they try to block me because they have my... See, with this server, Utopia and Comcast, when you're doing your stuff on your computer, when you put in your password, I don't care if you hide the password or whatever, reset your password, they use a unicast. A unicast it's like one casting, which means that it transfers your data to another computer or cloud server or whatever service they're using, and they see all your passwords or your secret codes to get into your accounts, and that's how they get into the stuff here. That's why at the time when I was doing my work, I'll turn my internet off, but it will say, it was sharing, whatever it was, because my neighbor upstairs was on my shit too. So another one, if you see here, the lease address, the MAC name, the file age, this is the date, right? You can look at all up. The net mask, it tell you which device or the server, whatever the case may be. The lease time is 300 seconds, And this will tell you the date and time. See, the domain name server is this is Comcast. See, I didn't have Comcast at this time, 2021. So whoever was under my system, they were hacking my devices. Let's see if I have any more in here. I probably do. I haven't highlighted the rest, but let's see. I don't see any more, but sorry, on my phone. So definitely utopia.net is Utah. That's where Wasatch Property Management or Holdings is located. They all have connections. I'm telling you, they have an asset protection under Cablecom that was changing the wires out. They have an on-site IT person that's on the site. They have these people they hire local tenants and have satellites on their patio. Oftentimes, it's the management satellite behind the buildings. Maintenance are involved. They put hidden cameras in people's apartments. You know, those people are criminals. They're criminals.